YouTube, we're talking college sports in the Deep South where college football is king. And on the plains of Auburn, the battle cry is War Eagle. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here on the podcast talking a little bit about Auburn football. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel. And very importantly, I get a lot of good information from a lot of you guys. I'm not always right or spot on, as some of you guys would say. And a lot of your comments are very helpful. And go ahead and leave a comment, especially if you're a fan of, other teams, Pac-12, especially Oregon. We've talked extensively about Oregon on this particular channel, obvious because Auburn will be taking on the Oregon Ducks in less than a couple of weeks at this point. Man, it's been a long journey. Started this thing around the Purdue game, getting serious about it. And it is absolutely just astonishing that the season is already here. On this channel, guys, it's always great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. Got the big news yesterday from the Auburn Athletic Department via Coach Gus Malzahn, letting the world know that Bo Nix will be the starting quarterback. Now, the question may be asked, well, what the heck is Joey Gatewood going to do? Now, I think there are several things that, could possibly happen. Number one, the more elementary thing is to immediately hit the transfer portal. I really don't think that, will happen, should happen for a lot of reasons. Joey Gatewood absolutely should not hit the transfer portal. And here are a few reasons why. Number one, the transfer portal, can be beneficial. It can be, at the same time, it also can be a scapegoat, for guys who don't want to, engage in competition and things of that nature. Kelly Bryant, for example, he was a junior going into his senior year. It actually made sense for him to hit the transfer portal when he did because he needed another shot at, impressing NFL scouts. Joey Gatewood and Bo Nix are both freshman quarterbacks, right? The reason that I think it would be premature for Joey Gatewood to hit the transfer portal at this point is you're literally the second man up there. I mean, after you, there's, Cord Sandberg, of course, but, I would be perplexed to think if the Auburn Athletic Department is depending totally heavily on factoring in Cord Sandberg as a viable solution. Say Bo Nix gets hurt or Bo Nix is not really performing up to par. It would absolutely make no sense for Joey Gatewood to transfer because just because you lose the initial starting quarterback job does not mean it's still not up for grabs because we still have, in-game situations that could play a role. There have been several situations where coaches might have thought, hey, this is the guy we want to go with. This is the guy in practice that we trust the most. This is the guy that we feel the best about. But then they absolutely tank it once the season starts. I think Joey Gatewood still has an opportunity to have a huge impact on Auburn, especially on, of course, as a quarterback. And, we're going to talk about some other situations down the line. Number two, Joey Gatewood came to Auburn as close to a five-star recruit. And he actually split time as a QB at Bertram Trail High School. He wasn't like the primary quarterback. And even in splitting time, he was very, very effective enough to, catch the eye of Auburn University and other schools to say, hey, this kid can really be a great quarterback. I think what Joey Gatewood needs to do is kind of similar to what Jalen Hurts did at Alabama. We do feel that Kenny Dillingham brings more of a developmental role as, a quarterback's coach. We think he has the opportunity to actually bring out the best in both of these guys because that's something that Gus Malzahn has not had in his tenure is a quarterback's coach. Now, how good Kenny Dillingham actually is, only time can tell. He did help the Memphis quarterback from last year, his name slips my mind right now, but he did help that quarterback improve statistically from the year prior to the year that Kenny Dillingham actually coached. See, we have to go by results here. We can talk about potential and we can say, a coach is not, experienced and all these other different types of items, but we have to go with the information we do know about. And we do know that quarterback statistically improved under Kenny Dillingham's watch. Okay. That's another opportunity for Joey Gatewood, who probably hasn't received the type of coaching under, the Gus Malzahn regime as would be expected, especially considering Power 5 football. But Coach Gus Malzahn brought a guy in specifically to help him with that area that he lacks. Gus Malzahn has never been known to be a quarterback's coach. Most of his situations have been quick fixes with guys that already kind of know what they're doing. And if you look at Bo Nix, he just comes off as a very well-coached quarterback. He comes off very, very polished, very poised. He takes that command, and you can see that you can just see that in his posture, period. That he's very confident in what he's doing, and he's been very well groomed for this particular situation. One of the things that Bo Nix said in his interview that I always say, especially in these big games, is don't let the moment get too big for you. And I think for a young man to speak on that behalf, speaks volumes to the type of mentality that it takes. No matter what, classification you are as a quarterback, you have to make sure that this moment is not too big. And, Bo Nix has been on some of the biggest stages, at least on the high school level, have won many accolades. So that confirmation is there that he knows he's a winner, both scholastically and athletically. Now back to Joey Gatewood. I think this is an opportunity for him to take advantage of some more developmental qualities. You don't want to go and just jump the gun and, you're still a young quarterback. You still have so many years left, and you still have plenty of years if things don't work out to go ahead and immediately jump the transfer portal. But I think this would be the wrong time for him to do so, because he still has more than an opportunity to be successful at Auburn. This thing is not solid. He's right behind Bo Nix. I think skill set wise, going on to number 3, the reason why, Joey Gatewood definitely shouldn't transfer is the fact that he can be a very extremely, I'm talking about astronomical asset to this particular offense. You have Gus Malzahn back calling plays. Gus Malzahn and his offense took a huge step backwards in red zone touchdown scoring. Hell, even field goals as well. Hope to improve on that as well. But Joey Gatewood gives a skill set down in the red zone with not only a nice running option, also gives that pass option. And you can also have the utilization of all of your running backs. Instead of, say, bringing Boobie Whitlow in to play that Wildcat quarterback, why not bring in Joey Gatewood? Because your playbook is still open at the Wildcat. I mean, chances are Joey Gatewood is going to run the football, but with a quarterback that has been taking reps throwing the football, your playbook is still wide open. Usually when you run the Wildcat with the running back, i.e. Cam Martin, Boobie Whitlow, or whoever they decide to run it with, usually the run is pretty much all you have. But when you bring a guy like, Joey Gatewood, like I said before, the playbook is wide open. So you definitely want to take advantage of something like that, especially if you want to expand the play calling options of your playbook and have that continuity even when your starting quarterback is out. And with Joey Gatewood already being used to sharing reps as a quarterback, even in high school, this is right up his alley. So what the hell would you transfer for? You come in, you shine real quick, maybe stay in for a series or two, and then roll back on out, I don't think Joey Gatewood has any plans to transfer Gus Malzahn made it clear to Joey Gatewood that he's definitely needed on this team, and that the starting quarterback decision is definitely not the end all be all, but you got to go with one guy. You got to go with one guy and get some type of continuity going, getting a game plan prepared for Oregon that I know will include Joey Gatewood. So all this transfer talk, all the negativity, I understand that's the world we live in, the social media world we live in. But Joey Gatewood has absolutely no reason to transfer at this point. The future, the sky is still the limit for him. He has 4 years of eligibility. And, I really think that something special will come out of Joey Gatewood. May not be at Auburn long term, but this year definitely would be the wrong year for Joey Gatewood to even talk about or, attempt any transfer, to attempt any type of transfer efforts. I just don't think it makes sense. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast, talking a little Auburn football. Here are your reasons why Joey Gatewood should absolutely not transfer from Auburn in the wake of the quarterback decision for the Auburn Tigers. Here on Vernon Speaks Sports, it's always great to be an Auburn Tiger. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and comment. And as always, War Eagle.